You are watching Places. Every Tuesday, we bring you an insightful look into fascinating events from all around the world. 15 countries with the highest emotional intelligence. Welcome to Alux.com, the place where future billionaires come to get inspired. If you're not subscribed yet, you're missing out. Hello, Aluxers, and welcome back. Today, we are taking some time to focus on one of the most important factors when it comes to success: emotional intelligence. The concept of emotional intelligence first emerged in 1995. It called into question the paramount importance that was placed on traditional intelligence, as study after study found that emotional intelligence is one of the greatest predictors of success. Emotional intelligence is actually a skill set composed of 4 different essential skills. There's self-awareness, which is the ability to view your own emotions accurately in real time. Self-management, which is the ability to use your awareness of your emotions to positively direct your behavior. Social awareness, which is the ability to understand the emotions of other people. And relationship management, which is the ability to use awareness of your emotions to manage interactions with other people. Although some people naturally exhibit higher levels of emotional intelligence, these are skills that can be practiced and learned. One study found that 90% of top job performers have high emotional intelligence, and people with a high level of emotional intelligence make an average of $29,000 more per year than those with a low level of emotional intelligence. These findings apply to all industries in every region of the world. The Gallup organization conducted a study on numerous countries around the world to determine which countries' populations exhibit the highest degrees of emotional intelligence. In each country, 1,000 people were evaluated based on how self-aware they were of their own emotions to determine which populations exhibited the most emotional intelligence overall. Now, let's take a look at some of the results of this study with the 15 countries with the highest emotional intelligence. Number 15. The United States. We start our list with the United States of America, which boasts the world's largest economy by GDP and the largest share of global wealth found in a single country, which, in case you were wondering, is 31% of the total wealth in the world. The U.S. also has one of the highest populations worldwide, with over 327 million people. According to Gallup, 54% of the population has a high degree of emotional intelligence, which sounds like a good amount until you flip the statistic to find that 46% of Americans do not have this skill set. That number is far too low for a highly developed country, so America still has some work to do. Number 14. Nicaragua. Nicaragua is found along Central America's Pacific coast, bordering Costa Rica and Honduras. It's the largest country in Central America, although not the most populated. Its natural beauty comes from its sparkling lakes, lush forests, rock formations, majestic volcanoes, and white sandy beaches. Nicaraguans are generally religious people, with about 73% following the Roman Catholic religion. In general, Nicaraguans are friendly people who avoid conflict and embrace the live and let live policy. They're welcoming and kind, especially to visitors to their country, so it's not too surprising that 54% of Nicaraguans have high emotional intelligence. Number 13. Peru. Peru is found in South America, surrounded by Ecuador, Colombia, Bolivia, Chile, Brazil, and the Pacific Ocean. Peru has one of the most prosperous economies in the region and has been classified as an emerging market with one of the fastest industrial growth rates in the world. The country has a very diverse population of 32 million people, 54% of which have high emotional intelligence. This may have contributed to the country's resilience, shown over the hundreds of years since the Incas dominated the region. Peruvians are known to be generally peaceful, hardworking, helpful, and extremely polite, which is further evidence of their emotional intelligence. Number 12. Dominican Republic. The Dominican Republic makes up 5/8 of the island of Hispaniola in the Caribbean alongside its neighbor Haiti. Its population of 10 million people contributes to the largest economy in the Caribbean, which is growing rapidly thanks to tourism, construction, and mining. The Dominican Republic is home to the Pueblo Viejo mine, the second largest gold mine in the world. Dominicans have overcome internal conflicts, economic recession, and government corruption. They remain resilient, optimistic, and hardworking, which can partially be attributed to the 54% of the population that have a high level of emotional intelligence. Number 11. Ecuador. Ecuador is found in northwestern South America along the Pacific Ocean. This country is full of natural wonders, including a number of plants and animals on the Galapagos Islands that aren't found anywhere else in the world. Yet Ecuador's greatest resource is its people, who are generally happy, generous, patient, and understanding. These traits are reflective of the 54% of the population who've been determined to have a high level of emotional intelligence. Number 10. Bolivia. Over 10 million people live in Bolivia, a landlocked South American country with one of the highest economic growth rates in Latin America. Yet as of 2019, it remains the second poorest country in South America. However, the crime rate is very low despite the poverty and political instability. The culture of Bolivia is centered around family and community. In general, they exhibit a strong level of empathy, which makes sense since 54% of the population is thought to have a high level of emotional intelligence. Number 9. Guatemala. Guatemala is the most populated country in Central America, with over 16 million people. Of those, about 54% have a high degree of emotional intelligence. In the 20th century, Guatemalans endured decades of civil war, and they continue to struggle with crime, instability, high rates of poverty, and the drug trade. Despite this, the people of Guatemala are known to be happy, strong, resilient, and kind. They're also typically keen observers, which leads to a greater understanding of emotions and how they drive behaviors. Number 8. Canada. The people of Canada are well known for being polite, accepting, and culturally diverse. According to the Gallup study, 54% of Canadians are also highly emotionally intelligent. This no doubt contributes positively to its advanced economy, good quality of life, and high per capita income. Canada's culture is based around a policy of equality and inclusiveness for all Canadians. Therefore, the culture incorporates elements from a wide range of nationalities. This inclusiveness is also an indicator of high emotional intelligence. Number 7. Costa Rica. Costa Rica is a piece of paradise found between Nicaragua and Ecuador in Central America. On the one side is the Caribbean Sea, and the other side borders the Pacific Ocean. Costa Rica has a stable democracy, a highly educated workforce, a diversified economy, and a small carbon footprint, with over 98% of its electricity being generated from green sources. The people of Costa Rica are known to be sensitive to the feelings of others. For example, they often answer a question with maybe when they really mean no, because they don't want to appear too harsh. This is just one aspect of emotional intelligence that at least 54% of Costa Ricans are said to have. Number 6. Chile. Next on our list, we have the beautiful country of Chile, which stretches along the Pacific coast of South America. Overcoming a politically unstable past, Chile is now one of the most socially stable and economically prosperous nations in South America. Chileans enjoy a high standard of living and a low crime rate. Gallup found that 54% of Chileans had a high degree of emotional intelligence, and Chileans are generally known to be open-minded, self-aware, accommodating, and welcoming to visitors. Number 5. Colombia. Colombia is a nation located in northwestern South America, surrounded by Panama, Brazil, Venezuela, Ecuador, and Peru. It's the most ethnically and linguistically diverse country in the world, thanks to a long history of European and Middle Eastern immigration, combined with forced African labor. Gallup found that 55% of Colombians have a high level of emotional intelligence. This helps explain their general optimism, happiness, cooperative spirit, and resilient nature. Number 4. Oman. The country of Oman is found on the southeastern coast of the Arabian Peninsula in Western Asia. Oman has been ruled by the Sultan Qaboos bin al-Said al-Said since 1970, making him the third longest reigning monarch in the world today. Omani culture puts an emphasis on community, family, and the Islamic religion. These close ties in the community have helped 55% of the population develop a high level of emotional intelligence that results in greater empathy, better communication, and higher consideration for the feelings of others. Number 3. Bahrain. The Kingdom of Bahrain is a nation made up of 33 islands in the Persian Gulf. Bahrain's closest neighbor is Saudi Arabia. The population is just over 1.4 million, but about half of these citizens are not native to the country. It wasn't until 1971 that Bahrain became independent from the British, and the kingdom wasn't established until 2002. Its high-income economy was originally based on oil production, but is now more focused on banking and tourism. Because there are people from so many cultures there, the people of Bahrain have learned to be accommodating, welcoming, and tolerant. However, it is primarily a Muslim country, so there are some cultural norms that are quite strict. Gallup found that 56% of Bahrainis exhibited a high level of emotional intelligence. Number 2. El Salvador. The smallest and most densely populated country in Central America is El Salvador. About 7 million people live in the country, and 57% of El Salvadorians have been identified as highly emotionally intelligent. Half of the people in El Salvador live below the poverty line, yet they find happiness in their close family ties, religious beliefs, and strong communities. They work together to help elevate their lives, and in doing so, they've developed a strong sense of empathy and understanding of their own emotions and the emotions of others. This helps them to cope with high crime rates, inequality, and widespread poverty. Number 1. Philippines. We've reached the number 1 spot on our list. According to Gallup, the country with the highest level of emotional intelligence is the Philippines, with 60% of the population exhibiting that trait. The Philippines is the 12th most populated country in the world, with over 105 million people living on more than 7,600 islands. The people of the Philippines are not only generally more self-aware when it comes to their own emotions, but also more understanding of the emotions of others. This is one reason why Filipinos have developed a reputation for being welcoming, friendly, curious, hospitable, respectful, and joyful. So there you have it, Aluxers, the top 15 countries with emotional intelligence. You may have noticed that many of these countries have traits in common, especially the developing countries, who faced difficulties with political instability, financial security, and high crime rates. Having to deal with challenging circumstances can lead people to develop emotional intelligence in order to better cope in certain environments. Culture and community also play huge roles in developing emotional intelligence. With the highest percentage of a population showing a high level of emotional intelligence, being 60%, it's clear the world still has a long way to go in this area. And if this is something you'd like to personally work on yourself, it's been significantly proven that one of the best ways to do this is through meditation. And luckily for you, we just launched Mind Mastery by Alux.com, our premium course designed specifically with the Aluxer in mind. We've worked on this program for over a year to ensure that we offer an incredible experience to Aluxers who are ready to reap the many proven benefits of meditation, including higher levels of emotional intelligence. Once you develop your emotional intelligence, you'll have this critical skill set for the rest of your life, and you will quickly notice the significant impact in your work and your personal life. Go to alux.com/meditation to get the course. Use the code ALUXER to get 25% off Mind Mastery as a thank you for being a true Aluxer all this time. That's alux.com/meditation with the code ALUXER. Now, before we wrap all this up, we're curious. Which country on this list would you most like to visit? Let us know in the comments. And of course, as always, for sticking with us until the end, here's your bonus. The country with the lowest level of emotional intelligence was Singapore, with 36%, followed by Georgia, Lithuania, Russia, and Ukraine. According to the Gallup study, those in Middle Eastern and African countries experienced negative emotions more often, while those in Latin American countries experienced the most positive emotions overall. Thank you for spending some time with us, Aluxers. Make sure to subscribe so you never miss another video. We also handpicked these videos for you to watch next. As always, the conversation continues on social media. Thanks again, and we can't wait to have you back tomorrow.